Lebanon's Litani River and the area south of the river. Katz added that Israel had blown up all bridges over the Litani River that he claimed Hezbollah had used to transport weapons and fighters, and said that the Israel military would control the remaining bridges and security zones up to the Litani. He also added Israel will install a security zone in southern Lebanon stretching to the Litani River, indefinitely displacing hundreds of thousands of Lebanese residents. He said that hundreds of thousands of residents of southern Lebanon who evacuated northward will not return south of the Litani River until security for the residents of the north is in fact ensured. So this is a big statement being made by the Israel Defense Minister, Major General Astana. What do you make of it? He is of course talking specifically of those bridges over Lebanon's Litani River.
See, from military point of view, those bridges, if blown off, they restrict the capability of Hezbollah to transfer equipment from North Lebanon to South Lebanon, and thereafter threaten the northern part of Israel. But they are the same bridges which are also required for people, especially people who are in South Lebanon, because everything important, the capital is on north side of Litani, and therefore they need to go. So it is a major problems for the people of Lebanon. But unfortunately, the political dynamics of Lebanon is that they have to bear the brunt of Hezbollah's action every time, because Hezbollah, remember, the Lebanese army is very weak. Hezbollah, both ways, it works both ways. They are part of the politics. They are also part of the government in some cases, and they are the ones who have actually been fighting Israelis more than their army itself. So although some of the political leaders in Lebanon, they always they can follow what America is saying, to say that okay, the Hezbollah should back down and we disown Hezbollah, etc., etc. But then the fact is, Hezbollah is embedded in the system, and therefore attack on Hezbollah also indirectly creates fair amount of pain on people of Lebanon. But going by the past history, I don't think Israel was ever bothered about the pain to the human beings in any, whether Gaza or Lebanon. And they have been looking purely from the military perspective, and that's why they have blown all the bridges there. These bridges are also being used by the United Nations complement which is there. So there is a problem. Israel earlier also,
Yes,
despite ceasefire, they did not come out completely, and even despite ceasefire, there was firing, sporadic firing continued. I think a similar scenario will continue to happen there.
Okay. Now, Israel's health ministry has announced that 4,829 injured people have been brought to hospital since the onset of the war. Of those people, 111 remain hospitalized, 12 are in serious conditions. So, on the Israeli side as well, Ambassador Mukherjee, there have been casualties, there have been injuries. Israel saying that 4,829 injured people have in fact been brought to hospitals since the war began.
Absolutely, Uday. The conflict has not gone according to the calculations of either Trump or Israel. There has been no regime change. I see no possibility of regime change in the near future. In fact, the new regime could be much more hardline and much more unreasonable than the old regime, because we also knew physically who were the people who were controlling power, who could be talked to, etc. And now there are so many rumors swirling around that the so-called successor to the Ayatollah is actually not alive, or it's all AI, or he is so badly injured he can't move, and that the Revolutionary Guard has taken charge. The Revolutionary Guard has always been very hardline. So it would amount to almost, you could say, a military takeover of Iran, which is not the kind of regime change that certainly Israel or Trump would have thought of. The other issue here is that the Israelis have demonstrated that their range of ballistic missiles indeed is alarming, because they were able to target Diego Garcia, which is amazing. So it shows that despite the strikes that happened in June, they have continued with their ballistic missile capability, and that, if it stops with a nuclear warhead, is indeed a danger to international peace and security. All the more reason, therefore, to calm things down and to have discussions by which there could be a capping, as the Iranians actually had agreed before the leadership was taken out, or some kind of capping of their nuclear program, etc., etc. And the Americans would do well to involve the IAEA, because the IAEA knows much more about these issues, and they have been inside Iran. They have seen their facilities. Trump has great contempt for anything to do with multilateral, but I think it would be extremely useful if they would involve IAEA at some point. As far as the venue of the talks is concerned, I continue to be very
Yes.
skeptical about
Okay.
Islamabad. I
Okay.
don't think